Hello, my name is Cece Garrett. I'm a licensed clinical social worker located in Washington State, and I specialize in working with individuals, families, and communities impacted by hoarding disorder. I'm a little bit different than maybe the run of the mill person who works with hoarding disorder because, in fact, I grew up in this environment and actually came to this place out of an attempt to understand and find resources for my mother and found that there was a significant hole in resources and decided to learn and then to help others. I love doing these Ask Me Anything features, and a recent website visitor submitted a question and wanted to know what are some common challenges that adult children who grew up with a parent who hoards experience setting up their own home. And I'm just going to put it out there. There's not really a lot of research specifically to this challenge. So I'm just going to share with you empirical knowledge of when I meet with other adult children, whether that's in family consultation, whether that's in a peer support group, whether that's just randomly in the community, there are some things I hear. And I will just want to always remind people that just like anything else, there's a spectrum of experiences. I have worked with families where they didn't feel like their parents' hoarding was a significant factor for them, that it didn't have this significant emotional impact on them. And some people who grow up with a parent who hoards have some of their own clutter behaviors, which can be part of that challenge for them setting up their own home, is their own propensity towards having things, wanting things, having difficulty organizing, categorizing, making decisions to let go. Then, of course, you have kind of this general experience of growing up, depending on the volume of possessions in the home. For instance, in my childhood home, we did own several vacuums. However, because of the condition of the home, there wasn't actually any ability to run a vacuum. And so there were a lot of skills that I just didn't learn. How often do you sweep? How often do you mop? How often do you change and wash your bedroom sheets, your bath towels? These were all things that, in the culture of growing up with a parent who hoards, whenever I could get those things, I was excited about them, but I didn't necessarily have a rule of thumb for how often I should do those things. Some other things that were difficult for me, and I hear other people say it's difficult for them, is some people go to kind of a minimalist. They don't want many things. They only want a few cherished possessions. That when they have hot spots, clutter hot spots, that it gives them a lot of anxiety. And again, then we have people who are somewhere in the middle who have lovely homes. One thing I know a lot of people have, even into adulthood, regardless of the condition of their home, is kind of this doorbell dread. So when somebody shows up unannounced, it kind of triggers this panic and this need to clean, to make sure that it's clean enough that nobody's going to ask questions, that nothing's going to be out of place. And again, that seems to be a pretty common experience, though if you're watching this, maybe you don't have that experience, and that's okay. So, yes, most adult children do find it challenging to know how to do certain tasks, how often to do certain tasks, um, how to let go of items, how often should they let go of items. And so we see that. And then, of course, we look at kind of those emotional pieces. There's a lot of anxiety around touching, moving, making decisions about things in the childhood home where hoarding's present. And so having our own ability to make decisions doesn't necessarily relieve us of that anxiety that comes with that our nervous system codes those things as being unsafe because of our experiences. And that means even when we're safe and we have autonomy, we may still have some anxiety around those things. The good news is we just have to keep doing them, taking baby steps, and eventually we can unpair and retrain our nervous system that, in fact, making a decision about my things is okay, even if making decisions about my things in my childhood home wasn't. Thank you, visitor, for your question. I love doing these, and I hope that if you're watching this online, you'll pop over to the website, check it out, see about the different services, free resources there, and maybe you'll consider sending in your own question. Thanks again. Have a great day. Hello, my name is Cece Garrett. I'm a licensed